Hey everybody, hey, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead for the recording. This is Michael Holmes with Real University, and what Real is simply is just renewing excellence and advancing leadership. And so this is tonight, what it is, the fourth Monday, and we are going over our inner circle and our real deals. Okay, so the first things first, let's go ahead and jump into what was recorded and what was sent to you guys so that we can see those as we go through. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring that up in a couple of seconds so that we can see that. And we're going to jump right on into everything so that we will not have any lagging. Hey, good to see everybody. I can't see who's all out there because I got them in different platforms, but I do see the number. So I thank everybody for tuning in. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and drop those into the chat box. We can get those taken care of. All right. So first things first, I'm going to share with you the page where you were getting the downloads. Also, you've gotten the emails as well. It also has downloads as well. So make sure that you stay on top of the ins and outs. How's that sound? Okay. All right. So you can see here, this is the purposepursuer.com/cash flow. Okay. I'm going to put it in the box. And this is what I sent to everybody. Change that out. All right. So this is what we sent everybody, and this is what came across to you. And this is for you to number one, to put your email and everything in there so you'll be up to date with all the announcements, the different times that we may be shooting out different deals, or there may be different businesses that are, needing promotions or what have you. So make sure you go ahead and separate, yourself so that you can have an email that is specifically for this. If not, that's okay. Just go ahead and do at least a folder in your email so that you can have the specifics. And what we want to do is we want to get ourselves into the mindset of a CEO, okay? Because so many times that we are involved, right? We got to see, okay, hey, what level that we want to participate in. And that's what this is going to be tonight. We're going to show, okay, how to participate in the different levels that are there, okay? Because some people are not looking to create a $10,000 a month, right? Or more, okay? And some people are, right? So if you can see here at the top, we're gonna go through really fast because you've already seen this. Your download one, and this is where everything would come through, and has all of your particular pages. Okay, now these pages is not for you to consume over the next week or so, 2 weeks or so. This is your package. This is like if you went to home human resources, right, and you have a package. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to give you everything that you need inside the PDF as we go along, so that you'll have not only just something to follow with, but also we made it into a fill in the blank as well. Okay, so that's going to help out. And so let me go ahead and get over there as well. But I also want to do something too. Please take the second and two. If you have not, the video is only like 2 or 3 minutes. I tell you what, this is for future reference. So just in case you have anybody that comes aboard, and that's wanted to be a part of this, you can send them to this page and it gets them going. Our goal is to what? Leverage yourself so that you can pursue your purpose. So your end goal is real estate and finance. Your end goal is products and services. Your end goal is sober living homes. Your end goal is a nonprofit. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Everything needs to be done in the same manner. Business is business. When you go to, let's say, for instance, go get an MBA, right, from college, okay? See, when you go, they're going to teach you the same things. They're not going to listen to you say, well, I learned this way. Well, I like it this way. Well, I'm more used to this. No, when you go to college, you're going to say, hey, this is how we do things. Okay. And see, then you choose a major that is more along the lines of your purpose, so that while you got to go through the ups and downs of the hard times, right, that you don't quit, because it's a part of your purpose. And you got to go through those times to get there. Okay. And see, now at the bottom here, you're going to have the times where you're going to put in your meetings, okay? Because it said, for instance, if you were making whatever you're making on your job, and they said, hey, we want you to be here at this time for a meeting, and they say, hey, we're not going to pay you for it, but you got to be here. It's mandatory. I guarantee you that majority of people would definitely be there, right? And see what, but when I say, hey guys, you want to do this for your purpose. This is something that you want to do. And so I'm going to give you all the steps that we've done over the that I've done over the last 30 years, that the team's done over the last 50 years. Okay, to show you that, hey, you don't have to bump your head. You don't have to do the hard knock university. You can just simply plug yourself in. And if you miss a meeting, make sure that you have the notation that says, hey, I'm going to make sure I catch the recording. Okay, because if you're not to the point to where you're that serious about your vision, then maybe it's not something that's a purpose for you. Okay, because a purpose is something that drives you. Okay, because what I'm doing is I have a purpose to make the community better, to make the community better for my people, so that we can have more opportunities, more chances, more choices, right? And to see whatever your choices are, your options are, whatever that purpose is, that passion is, you got to get to the point to where it's driving you more than the comfort that you have. Whatever it is that you're allowing yourself to be so comfortable with, that is causing you to self-sabotage. Okay, so now you got to think of yourself as a business owner. Like what we're going to do, and after I show you these things, we're going to go through and we're going to have three different levels, because what we're doing is we are essentially saying, hey, we're going to go out there and find the houses and put people on those particular deals. And then also we're saying, hey, this is going to create for you 100% return or better, right? Now, a lot of people are definitely not receiving those types of returns. So what we got to do is we got to make sure that these returns are earned, right? So we're going to have different levels, because if there's not a type of participation, maybe this is not where you want to put your purpose. So what we want to do is we want to be able to uncover what you really want to do, right? The desire to write, okay? Whatever that is, we want to make sure, number one, that the foundation is together. Okay, let's just continue. So at the page here, we have the call. So here, Monday, 8:25, right? And this is what I sent to everybody right beforehand, right? Before everybody saying, like, what time, right? And so this is what I want you to do. I want you to get involved and say, okay, hey, it's quicker to ask a question and see if I get an answer, but I can retain it longer if I go ahead and go through the steps and see, okay, hey, what's day one? What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I going? Right? And see, when you know these things, you don't give up on yourself. You're not going to give up on yourself. So this is what it is. Now, it's like this: when you go into the gym, right? The end product is something to be proud of. You want to lose weight, you want to gain weight, whatever that may be. And so now, but the middle part is not easy. Making the decision, January 1st, like a lot of people do, and say, hey, I'm gonna jump in the gym. But the middle part is where everybody loses it. So by the time February 1st comes around, what? Nobody's there any longer, right? So we got to get to the place of where we are inspired, not motivated. Motivation is just going to get you say, hey, I know I should be doing this. And sometimes I feel like doing it, and that motivation then is there. See, inspiration goes past how I feel, right? It goes past what I used to do, because what you used to do and how you used to think got you here. So what we want to do is we want to take out the majority of the things that are impeding your process, because what we are used to doing, we're used to the school that we've come up in, first grade to 12th grade, to the college, and then to furthermore, and just to see that we don't have anywhere that we can depend on that piece of paper that they just gave us, right? So after 4 year, I've electrical engineering, and I've done everything that they said to do, get the good job, all these types of things, right? And it just didn't last. It didn't do as what they said it was going to do. But see, majority of CEOs and owners, they're teaching their children from the start, right, how to be a producer. And what we do, as a from the start, we teach how to be a consumer. So therefore, we think that, hey, when I pay this particular money, then it's automatically going to change me, right? I paid this money to go to the gym, and then automatically it's going to change me. We don't think that way though, right? So why do we think it in any other way, right? When we put in our particular time, that time is going to give us back in corresponding measure what you put in, right? So now you have the times before you. Monday 8:25. That's the general call that we're doing right now, where we talk about the deals. Is our inner circle call, people that are already involved, right? And then Tuesday night, we're going to do a presentation about, okay, let people know what we're trying to do, how we're trying to help the community, how we can help the individuals. That's what Tuesday night is. So we want to do a presentation about that. Okay. And then Wednesday, that's when I do a lunch and learn. That's uh, in the middle of the day. It's 12:30. So those people that are on second shift, you can start plugging people in on that time, because now you can say, hey, those people that were not able to see the 8:25 call, now they can jump on at lunch on the lunch and learn. And then Thursday at 12, that is a accountability call, because that is with my mentor. So I'm going to plug you into my mentor and the accountability calls that we get on then. Okay. And so now what you want to do is you got to think about to yourself, right? What is this that I'm trying to do? Am I just trying to create an extra $500 a month? Am I trying to create an extra $5,000 a month? What is it that I'm trying to do? All right. What is that end goal that I'm trying to reach? That's where I want to get you, because what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to package something that people say that they desire, like a lifetime retirement, from whatever it is that they're working on. But that requires more. Just like, say, for instance, if you wanted to, you were 200 pounds overweight, right? It takes more time, more dedication than somebody that may be 20 pounds overweight. You see what I'm saying? So if there's something like somebody wants to do, you have to decide, okay, what it is that I'm willing to exchange, but what I want from my life. It's time to be intentional about the things that we want from life, instead of saying, hey, life is doing this to me, and then I react this way. It's time to take life accordingly to the neck, right? And when you wake up in the morning, you're excited because you're working on your purpose. So let me show you what I mean by the breakdown. Okay, so that was the purposepursuer.com/. Oh, appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. So this is what we're going to be doing, is where you want to get your cash flow, right? And you'll see when I get to the third phase what I mean by your the people tonight. You guys are what I call, well, what I would love to groom into leadership. Okay. So let me show you what that means as well. I appreciate everybody plugging in as well. So let me share with you. See if we can pull this up right quick. I hope everybody's having a good night. It's a great Monday, right? There's a lot of things that we want to get in front of. And the biggest thing we want to get in front of is our finances. Okay. All right. So that should be on the screen there. I'm going to go ahead and make it as big as possible. And we're going to go through this, and then we're going to go into the particular deals. Okay. So let's rock and roll. Okay, so cash flow forever system. Remember what we were saying was there are three, different ways or different phases that you will be able to participate in. We're going to go over this in the next, 3-4 minutes, really quick. Okay, because I want to be able to say, okay, hey, this is Michael. I'm deciding that I want to do this, right? So I know now what I have to put into it, right? So I'm gonna give you 3 levels so that you can say, hey, I'm willing to do this level of participation. Okay. So, biggest thing is congratulations, of course. Over the next few minutes, you're going to make sure that you have an outline and exact steps on what to do to get to your purpose. So that's what I really want to get out to you, because what we're doing over here is not for you to sell my econ. It's not for you to sell real estate. What it is it's the goal to get you to your purpose. And see, those things, the my econ and real estate, are tools to get you to your purpose. Now, if real estate, just is like mine, is a part of your purpose, then of course that becomes more of what you're desiring to do. But it's designed to have your real estate to be a part of your provision, from underneath your purpose, right? Because you don't want to be taken away from your job, because your job already has to fuel your current lifestyle and your future lifestyle, and also however you're building your business. And then also it's got to take care of the children and all the different areas that you're pulling on it already. And we're already saying we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. We've already gotten people, and we've seen our grandparents, our parents, individuals that have retired or can't retire. We've seen people going through these COVID pandemic, and they've lost money on the 401ks and stuff like that, but nobody has changed how we do things, thinking that, hey, well, it's fine, I had to get it out of the mud or out of the dirt, so I don't have my finances together, so I'm just going to teach my kids to go to school so they can have a good job, right? Is hopefully that's what will get them through, okay, without understanding how the world works, which is that we are in the position of always, say, for instance, praying, how things will work out, praying that we get a great job, praying that, that we get enough for the rent to come in, or praying that, because something else just broke down, that, we'll get this out through, right? But there are other communities that are doing the providing, right? They're not having to pray for certain things because they are using certain practices, certain strategies that was not taught, right, in the regular public schools. Okay, so now it's a time to becoming real, right? To renew excellence and advance leadership, to make sure that what it is that you're desired, that what was planted in you when you were born, there was a design, right? Anything that was made, it was created for a reason. So if you have a screwdriver, right, and you take the screwdriver and you turn it around and you try to beat the nail in, it may work, but was that what it was designed to do? Right, when you wake up in the morning or in the evening or whenever it is that you go to work, and then you wake up and it's 40 years later, 30 years later, right? You've seen parents, grandparents, whatever, you've seen us go through this process. Okay, right? What is it that you are prepared to do to get out of that? Okay, because at some point in time we got to get to ourselves to where we are free, from the rigmarole of the 9 to 5. Okay, and so we got to get to a point where we're renewing excellence, and we're going to look at 3 problems really quick. First one is mindset. How do we think about what we think? Okay, because we're nothing more than the hardware, right? And then inside, or how we think, is the software. Okay, I know some of you have the iPhones, or you probably have your phone as well that has, I don't know the other phone, so I can't be, I'm an iPhone person. So, but the thing is, I know that you've seen the software updates that come across. And what happens if you don't update your software, right? Your phone doesn't operate, the hardware doesn't operate properly. You see what I'm saying? So is it your purpose to wake up and go to work and then pay bills and then die? And then have a little bit of savings that you can get through with, maybe or maybe not, right? But so what is that purpose? So don't think that those before you that are 50s, 60s, and 70s wasn't doing the same thing that you're doing now in your 20s and 30s and 40s. Okay, they were doing the same thing. They had the same hustle. They had the same striving. But life takes you down when you don't have a team. You're constantly working, and the only thing you're working on is the mindset of, I need more money, I need more money, I need more money. But you never get to a place to where you create cash flow, right? So we got to get the mindset to understand that I need to do certain things first before I get to the top of the mountain. I got to get myself together, right? Whatever that foundational things are, everybody has to do the same things, okay? No matter what that is. So now problem number 2 is the actions. And see, if the mindset is not there, you will never do the actions. If you have not started to exchange your operating system, the way you think, by taking a good book, 10 pages of a good book each day. If you do that over a 30-day period of time, you just read 300 pages, right? You just did 10 pages a little bit at a time. How do you eat it up? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. And see, the thing is, we see the big goal of the purpose, it's the desire. That's what I want to do. I see people on Facebook and see all these different things, right? And then we say, hey, I got to get there right away. So we feel like we just need a little piece. Let me get this piece here, and it's a credit. Let me get this piece here, Mike. Let me show you how to show me how to do that little piece. And you don't have the system together. So you end up doing the things like I did, which is lose a lot of money. Okay. So problem three then is the cash flow, right? We were saying if you're always trying to pinch away from your job that's already not quite making it, right? You don't have enough savings for the future. How do you take away from the current for the future to invest in the job or the business that you're trying to create? Okay, so you got to get to the point to where this is serious for you. And see, that's what we got to do. And this is why I'm here, right? So that you don't go and spend $1,000, $2,000 on another course. And then you go to somebody else and pay for an LLC, and you go somebody else pay for another business credit. And you go somewhere over here to learn this type of thing. You go over here to learn branding. You go over here to learn social media. See, all of this is at the real university. But you got to get to a place where you say, hey, I'm going to go back in the back office, because it's not like a job. A job says, hey, clock in and do this and then get paid. See, when you work for yourself, you got to be responsible for your calendar. You got to be responsible for your notes. You got to be responsible for your team. You got to be responsible for you. You got to be responsible for your family. You got to you got to take the bull by the horns. And see, when that's the thing, beforehand, in the past, we didn't have that opportunity to do so, right? So we had to do things like a little hustle here, some type of hustle here, a small business over here, sell little products and services over here. See, we've seen those things, right? Because that was how the system had us designed. Now we have options and choices a little bit more than there, right? So now we got to take it by the horn and actually say, hey, this is the time for me to create a business, not just selling products and services, not just going after the bag. Okay, so what we want to look into is the three phases that you want to commit to, right? See, the first one is the check to check freedom. This is to free and some people, just this is just the first step. Okay, if you need to create for yourself an extra 500 to extra $1,500 a month, and that's satisfying for you, that's exactly where you need to be. And you love your job, you already got certain things, you just need to get certain things in order, maybe. Okay, you see, that's a level that's going to take maybe an extra 15 minutes a week. Yes, an extra 15 minutes a week, right? And you can probably get yourself to an extra $500. Extra 30 minutes a week, you can get yourself to extra $1,500, because we'll teach you about cash flow management, business income, and then investing income. You see, when you understand, then your money is working for you. You see, you might not want to go to another level to where you're investing in crypto or investing in real estate. Your investing may be a mutual fund. That's your 401k, or you may want to self-direct your 401k right into a real estate investing. But that may not be something that you want to go after, because you have more things that you want to do with your time. So you got to know where you live, okay? And then you have the cash flow forever system. This is when you bump up and you start to learn personal credit, right? Business credit, leveraging credit, how to make sure that your money is making money. You see what I'm saying? So you want to start. This is where you start learning. This is where not only you start learning, but you also start to teach. Right? Because in order for you to leverage yourself, you first must have to have mastered it yourself, and then turn around and help others to get to a place in their life. See, you got to get to a point to where that's a selfless thing that you already have in your heart. And see, if you want to go into that particular system, this is what I'll ask you to do. I ask you to about 2 to 3 hours a week, right? And I'm not see, at your job, They're asking you for 8 hours a day, 40 to 50 hours a week, and they're paying you whatever your payroll is, whatever your salary is. What I'm asking you to do is something that is harder than anything in the world, and that's to tame our own selves. And see, when we do that, that's when things will change for us. Then we can think differently. Then we don't things that shouldn't matter won't matter. They won't get in the way. The football game won't get in the way, right? When you're going through this right here, when you're taking copious notes, you got a notebook in front of you because you understand that, hey, this note that I'm taking right here is going to take me away from the anything, whatever that is over there that I no longer desire. You see, if I want to be the particular best writer, if I want to be the best hair salon, if I want to be the best anything in the world, right? Look at the difference between Jordan, right? Michael Jordan and Michael Holmes, right? So let's think about it. Michael Jordan, if I was to get, I'm 5'5", and I was to go ahead and try for a pro, right? In comparison to Michael Jordan at 6'6", right, the greatest of all time, you see what I'm saying? The hours that he put in compared to the hours that I put in, you see that he is the greatest. He shoots what 1,000 free throws, to make sure. And see, what are you doing in your profession, whatever that is, right? What are you doing in your profession to get yourself to a point to where you're invested 10,000 hours? Think about the actor or in things like that, right? They rehearse scripts over and over again. Okay. See, you got to get to the point to where you are rehearsing your vision so that you don't have division when something comes in front of you to try to take you away from your vision. Okay. So if you can do this, you can create for yourself an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Then the next step is the houses to intentional help, right? This is where we're taking our houses that we're buying and we're learning really fast to go through those and analyze them. And then we're going to switch them over to the rehab of the process. And then we're going to go over into helping the individuals. This person may be on drugs. It may be a transitional home. It may be alcoholism. It may be narcotics, narcotics addictions. So we're going to be there to help them and house them. There's also going to include affordable housing as well. This is going to 10 times the majority of people's passive income. Okay, so let's get into it. And we'll wrap up and we'll show you a couple of the deals. Okay, so here, like I said before, the basics, cash flow management. So you got to build your house, right? You got to make sure that your rooms are filled with things that are going to be productive. Okay, so your first level, if you're satisfied, you think $500 to $1,000 a month, that's cool, great. That's all. That's good. Now you got a first floor. That's all you need. Okay, cash flow management, show you how to get yourself on a budget, show you how to make sure every dollar has a name, make sure you understand that you can have a personalized cash flow plan, right? So you can understand, hey, if I got $1,000 in emergency fund, then I'm going to max out my investments. And then after I max out my investments, I'm going to make sure that I have another opportunity over here that's going to make me some more assets, right? Then I'm going to increase my emergency fund to about 6 months worth of my expenses. Then I'll be able to transition from my job and I already have the cash flow coming in and I got a cushion to relax on. It's not difficult when somebody is guiding you. But if nobody's guiding you, that's why we have 30-year mortgages, because they know that's going to keep you where? On your job 30 years. And that means you're going to work for that person. So it's all a design. Okay, you got to break out of the mold if you want more. So second level is this is where you want to be, that if this is where you want to be, no level is better than the other level, right? But what you want to do is say, hey, if I'm want to go to Atlanta, that's your goal. I want to take you to Atlanta. Okay. I don't want you to say, hey, Michael, I want to get to Atlanta, but you only give me enough gas, right, to get to Anderson. Okay, so I want you to know every step of the way. I want you to be able to count the cost so that you can get in and actually do the things that you want to do. And it does not give you frustration because you're not able to give as much as you know you should. Okay, so now the personal credit goes into business credit so that you can separate yourself from your social security number. Then we start to create more and more business credit steps. See, a lot of people have been involved for 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year, and some of these steps you have not yet to take. Okay, so I want to see, okay, hey, where are you? And then I want you to be to a place to where you're strong and say, hey, well, let me get through this first floor. Right. Or if you realize that you got, 5 to 7 hours a week, that's all we're saying, an hour a day, then you can do the top level where we help you to research and acquisition or to acquire the properties, then how to repair and rehab the properties, right? And then you're renewing excellence and you're advancing leadership in your community. You've gotten to a place to where you're doing good. You're making a front income from the flips of the houses, right? And then you're making money on the back end from the residual income of us putting in the people that need the housing. Okay, you see, with this way, it's a win-win-win for everybody concerned, and we can just multiply these along the way. See, what happens as we do this? This is what group economics helps you to do. See, as we are Real University doing the hub of the matter, right? So you can check in and say, "Hey, how's everything going? How's everything going?" That's one level. Then there's another level to where you're contributing to how we're doing, right? And then this third level is when you become a part of what we're doing, okay? And see, these steps that'll tell you, okay, how much time, right? The first level is 30 minutes a week. You basically just putting in your adjustments. You're basically just putting in your lifestyle write-ups of your tax deductions. You're making your bills into business expenses. Okay, therefore it's going to turn over somewhere between $500 to $1,500 a month, right? Once we teach you all the steps, then you do your personal credit. If you want to go to that level, that's say extra 2, 3 hours a week. Show you strategically how to spend those so that you're leveraging. See, this is what happening. I don't know if you see this or not. And probably most people can't. When you are selfless and you help other people to find out what's their purpose and then put them on a path to that purpose, you've now leveraged your time. See, now that person is going to go and do what they do. And because the way we have this structured, you're going to receive a partial or compensation or a commission based upon what that person has done. You see what I'm saying? So now you're creating a leverage so that now when you put in an hour, let's say, for instance, over the next year, you've helped 100 people, not directly, but indirectly. But now, when those 100 people go to work, right, they put in 1 hour for the day. Now, you and your company just put in 100 hours for that day, plus your hours. So there's 101 hours. Okay. See, this is how you got to think about as a CEO, how to transition, how to get yourself out of that position, how to think about your boss. How does your boss do things? Okay, so now that's what we want to end that on. I don't, that'll be good for now. It has many facets, but that's what I wanted to be for you. All right, let me see here. All right, so let me tell you my story. Okay, so you can bring this together because this is foundational, just like we did the previous week, so that we could start a new structure. This week is a time to make the decisions on what we want to do. Let's say, for instance, if you are wanting to put together a particular purpose, whatever this purpose is, you're going to need your branding put together, marketing put together, those types of understandings. See, my story was this. I've been doing this since 18 years old in some form of fashion and real estate. So it's over 30 years. It's amazing to see that. But we went to a place to where I made my first, the $1 million mark at 38. Okay. And then I want to say a few years later, this is when 2009 happened, when the market crashed, all the banks and everything dropped down. Some of you heard my story. At this point in time, I was over leveraged because I didn't understand the difference between income and cash flow. And I guarantee you, 90% of the people that you watch or follow or are getting the bag or you buying courses from, they don't understand the difference either. Because if they did, they would help you with the system and not just with a course. Okay. So what happened is I didn't understand those differences. So I was making great money. We were grossing probably $100,000 a week. Okay. And with that grossing of $100,000 a week, I probably had a overhead a month of about $80,000 a month. Okay, so we were bringing gross in about 400. We were sending out about 80 or so. Okay, we probably had I don't know, at least four businesses underneath that real estate umbrella, and then we also had maybe about 25, 30 clients at the top of how everything was moving. Okay, see when it fell down, if I had have structured it like I'm telling you guys how to structure it, then I wouldn't have been dependent on just my income alone. So when the market failed and everybody was going crazy and all the houses just dropped and all these types of things, right? Everybody's moving out of my houses. I didn't have the cash flow to pay for the $80,000 a month, right? Because if I wasn't selling a house, I was unemployed. Okay, because I was buying, selling, buying, selling. I wasn't trying to hold anything. I was trying to make all the money then. You see what I'm saying? So now what I'm teaching you guys how to do so is like if you're wanting to create your own business, whatever that end goal is, that product, right? You learn your steps and then you use and you say, hey, if I can close on one deal a year and make an extra $10,000, okay, or or several throughout the several throughout the year. Okay, just depends on how much you need to send your business into where it needs to be. If you and most of all, we don't know where our business needs to be because we don't have a proper business plan. You see, the things are happening so fast that we see these people on Instagram. We see these people saying, "Do this and boom, and just do this and boom, and get this and boom, and everything will just happen for you." That never happens. That never happens. That never happens. When you see people giving these testimonies about the courses that they've used and they now have produced this and this, I guarantee you they have about 5 years or 2 years or somewhere that they've been doing mental preparation through maybe experiences of failure and these types of things before they reach that climax of finding that particular course to make them act upon that course with the right mentality to see it into fruition. You see what I'm saying? So as we are learning this, I want you to understand what we're doing. We put you in a position to where you're creating cash flow. That's your underlying purpose. So we reduce your taxes. We reduce your debt, right? We reduce or help you to outpace inflation. We start to reduce expenses. See, we do the minor things so that we have extra cash flow, right? See, when we do that, now we go over here and then we have extra money coming in from us either participating in the real estate itself, or either we are passively participating. Okay, so we're going to go in different levels. Everybody can still participate in the real estate, but if you're on the basic level, right, the first level, not basic level, but the first level, then we're going to actually do percentages. Then people that want to contribute and be on the second level, right, you have more time, so we're going to give you a bigger percentage, right? Then of course you guys, most of you guys are already on the third, so it really doesn't matter. So this is where we give you the full percentage or the full whatever half or a third. Okay. See, now I'll know what I'm looking for. So there won't be people that are saying, "Hey, Mike," and they hit me up every so often, be like, "Let me show you how to do, let me learn how to do." Nah, I don't have time. Okay, because I need to know that there are differences, so I can know where to put that time. Okay, so as you go through that process of understanding how to create your cash flow, then you won't create what happened with me. Okay. And you won't be in that place where you're losing everything. All right. And see, that's what is so safe and secure about a job, because we have more trust and faith in that job being there than we do in our own actions. Okay. And this is why I say that, and I've seen it in my own life, is because what happens is if you do not feel like what is being told to you that it's going to get you to the end goal, you're not going to do it. If you say, "I'm going to Atlanta," but you get in a jalopy, right? That looks as popping and locking, right? You're not gonna get in the car, okay? And see, if you know subconsciously that you're not going to do the steps necessary, even consciously, if you know it, then you're either going to self sabotage yourself consciously or you're going to self sabotage yourself subconsciously. And either way, you're going to get to a place that where it's going to now bring you backwards. So you're going to get good movements, and then because you have not got your mental to the place of where you think your money should be, it's never going to align. Okay. See, money is responding to strategies, right? It's responding to principles. And the principle that majority of us are using is let me give you an hour of my time and then give me $20. I'm gonna give you an hour of my time, give me $12. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're used to. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you have to adjust how you view things. See what I'm saying? So then you can jump in and say, oh, this is what he was saying. Oh, okay, I gotta get the business credit. Oh, okay. All I gotta do is go in, log in, and all the videos are already there. You mean all I gotta do is watch them and fill out the paperwork? That's all I gotta do. Great. See, there's time to where some people don't have that time. That's fine because you're working 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. And see, now you actually go ahead and say, hey, Mike, here's a little change and go ahead and do this part for me. But you still can participate in the learning portion, right? So that it's different. See, here, I'm going to show you different strategies so that you don't have to pay whatever people pay for a real estate license to sell real estate. Come on now. So understand what we're going and where we're going, okay? So if you got your notes, because I don't have any PowerPoint to show you this aspects, okay? So what I'm going to do is a friend I was talking to earlier today. I think I called him a friend now. We were talking about the houses, and you presenting the deals, and how do people see it and might get upon that deal as well. And I was thinking, well, now we control it, and we can who we want to present to or who we want to put on the house. But I was thinking about it as I was driving back home that there might be somebody in the public arena, that jumps on that property. Okay, so I'm not going to put any more addresses on the public. Okay, so you got to look into our Facebook page, the private Facebook page, or you can definitely just keep an eye on your emails because the newsletter is going to start, showing you the breakdowns of the businesses because we don't only just do real estate, but we are also business like angel investors as well. Okay, so we're on that. Have you ever seen Shark Tank? Okay, we do that side as well. Okay, so it's a lot of things that you have available for you. So think about it like this. Okay, now you're going to have, when you're doing real estate, and I hope you got your notes available. When you're doing real estate, the number one thing to think about is how you're going to exit. How are you going to exit? Okay. Um, and exit strategies means, am I going to sell the property? Am I going to lease the property? Am I going to wholesale the property? Is there it's a land contract, so it's lease to own. So it's a different ways of exiting. Okay, are you going to sell it off to another investor? Okay, so when you're looking at those strategies, remember it's your exit strategy. And just like in your business that you're doing, my goal is to show you, okay, hey, the end goal we're going to take care of. Just jump in. We're going to take care of the end goal. Then I'm going to give you the assignments, okay? And the assignments are going to get you reprogrammed, okay? And if that seems like something that it's too many reps for you to do, right? Or it's too many, too much, too long for you to run. I'm doing a comparison of working out. Okay. So if that's the case, then hey, that's okay. Then it may not be to where your vision may not should be six figures. Okay. Maybe your vision should be an extra $20,000 a year, right? So because you know how much you're going to give of yourself. We've already retired over 30 people. So our goal is to show you what we've already done. But if you only come in and you take it like a buffet, oh, I'm gonna get on this call. Oh, not gonna get on that one. Yep, you know what I'm saying? The problem with this business or working for yourself, it's so easy to do, but it's also so easy not to do. That's what drives people crazy because if I get up in the morning, I have nobody telling me what to do. So if I don't do anything, then guess what? That's what I'm going to get at the end of the week. So people say, Mike, I get a steady check. Well, I do too, but I just got to put in the time, right? And see, what we got to do is you got to understand that the job can be used as your platform. Then you start putting provision on top of the job. Then you start stacking the money in the right places. Then you start stacking the credit in the right places. Then you start stacking the extra information and education on top of all of that. Now you have something that cannot be taken away from you. Okay. Now you got something to say, hey, you're talking to your child, you say, hey, I can teach you this, and you don't have to feel like you got to be forced into the military, or you got to feel like you got to be forced into this job, or you got to feel like you're forced into this college, right? Because things are not the same for everyone. So when you know how to apply yourself to make your money work for you, then guess what happens? You're no longer subject to the outside economy because you have your things in place. You see what I'm saying? Now you're really winning. Now you're really winning. Okay. So now when you start to put these things in line, you say, hey, Mike, I got I can do this. I can do an extra hour a day. You're talking about I can't put an extra hour a day into myself? Oh yeah, I can do that, right? So we're gonna get you and show you. In the hour, you're gonna read a little bit, you're gonna focus more on yourself a little bit, and then you're gonna do income producing activities. See, we have everything in place for you. We have a complete curriculum. It's up to you to jump in and say, hey, I want to get everything, or I want to get, nothing. And that's okay. That's what I want you to know. It's totally okay. Right. So there you go. If you see successful people, they might have gotten the time back, but look how much effort was put in. Exactly. Exactly. So, you have to invest. Either you have already the money that you can pay so that you can get leverage, right? Or you got to put in the work so that their work becomes an investment and then you get that back, right? So remember, there's no mocking, right? Whatever a man sows, that's what he's going to reap. Whatever a woman sows, that's what she's going to reap. It's nothing it's nothing magical about this. It's only you saying that every day I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to learn a little bit more. Or instead of saying, "Hey, it's so much." No, it's not. It's not. It's just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Okay. So as you're doing these steps, right? Exit strategies. And the exit strategies was it what selling, lease to own, renting out, or selling to an investor as in wholesale. Okay. Now, in the beginning, you have different ways to acquire the property. Majority of people are only teaching you the wholesale process, which is simply getting you out there with everybody else and doing all the other competition and doing the exact same thing. That's generally what everybody's teaching, all right? And then you have a for sale by owner. Okay. So let me see if I can do it this way. Nah, I'm not gonna do it that way. So you have your for sale by owner, and that strategy is being able to talk to individuals that are not being represented by realtors. So we have a way to do that. Then you have a wholesale leasing, okay? Then you have quick turn rentals, okay? Then you have I forgot what was that Demetrius and TJ had brought to the table, but that's another way, another form, okay? And see, with these different forms that you have, we can teach you how to acquire the properties so that now you have a focus on simply understanding how to evaluate that property. Okay. So now your job is to, depends on what phase you're on, okay, is to do, maybe one of those a day, right? Then the second level, maybe it's to do two or three a day. Then the third level, maybe it's to do 3 to 4 or 5 a day. Okay. You see what this does is it starts to get everything rocking and rolling. And what it also does is you're learning different things. So it makes you into a better person quote unquote, not better as in morality and ethics, but better as in a center of influence because you have a greater value to your community. You know how money works, and also you know how to get people into a position so they can know how money works. Okay. See, that's the foundation of everything. Now, as you're going through that process, as you're looking through those different areas, the biggest thing you're going to learn is ARV. You guys hear me say this all the time. ARV times 65% minus repairs equals your maximum allowable offer. I just put that in the chat. I'm also going to put it in the, there we go. Let me move this right quick so you can see this part. All right. So as you see, the understanding is the ARV times 65% minus your repairs equals your maximum allowable offer. Right? If you can get this piece right here, then it'll be a whiz for you. I can show you what, and what I will show you is how to effectively transition. You see, my job, even when I was doing the real estate from 20 to about 26 or so, I worked for Hardee's and I worked for Chick-fil-A. I was a general manager for Hardee's, and then I was recruited by Chick-fil-A, and I was over two of the Chick-fil-A general managers. People's like, that's a good job. To me, that's an oxymoron. To me, you can't give me a good job. You see what I'm saying? Because I've already experienced freedom. You see what I'm saying? So even if it was paying six figures, but it was still taking from me 40, 50 hours a week, it's not good for me. You see what I'm saying? So that's the level that I strove to get past, right? Because I didn't want that. I had a different purpose. So I invested the time to learn different skills. See, that's what we're doing now. You're going to learn different skills. So as you learn how to evaluate, so now you're riding around the property, you have your ARV either in your mind, or you have it in your phone notes, or you have it in your notebook, because right now you're supposed to have a notebook and a calendar, right? So you got in your notebook the ARV, and now you see this rundown piece of property. It's just, just awful, it's crappy, right? So now you go and look and you say, okay, well, but it's planted in a good neighborhood though. Right. So now that's a good thing that you want to do. So we whip back around, we get the address down, and we see if there's any for sale signs or any signs that says that something that we could contact or somebody that we can contact. Right. So you write that down. Now you got the address. Now you can either, depends on where you are. Now, what kind of time you have, you can simply do it right then. Just pop up Zillow. And let me show you how that works. Okay. Let's stop this. Let me put the Zillow up. And remember, the PDF that we had you have, those are for your own study. It's not for overnight consumption. Okay. So now let's see, let's think of, well, instead of putting the address in, let's just go ahead and do a search. And I'm going to put the page on there in a couple seconds. In 1 second. Okay. All right, so now you should be able to see the Zillow screen. Get it. All right, you can see more of it. Okay, so now you have the Zillow screen and you have your address. So let's pretend like it is, let's choose this one here. All right. So let's say, for instance, this was one Rockwood Lane, okay, that you was riding by, and don't take the picture that you see. Just but imagine that this was a rundown piece of property, right? Just awful. It's just terrible, okay? And you put it into your address bar, and when you put up Zillow, you put in one Rockwood Lane, Arden, North Carolina, blah 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 blah, and see what you're gonna see is, first of all, you're gonna see, okay, hey, is it listed? Is it for sale? And you know that by here, you'll see a red dot and it's inactive. Okay. And now what you want to do is you have these different facts and features in the middle of your page here. Okay. And see, this is going to take you and describe everything what's going on, possibly. Sometimes it doesn't have it, just depends, so but this can give you a starting. So you see your home value. Remember, we saw it was in a terrible position. It was awful. So we want to see what's looking in the rest of the houses. Okay. So now this one here, as you see, let me make sure, let me make it a little bigger. Okay. So this one here, as you see, it has the $375,000. Okay. One of the houses, another house is 345. So imagine if I was in this neck of the woods and this was a terrible house and it was on sale or was selling for like $150,000, right? So now I can see that the other houses are selling for 375, 345. It's 280. Okay, yeah. So now I can get it like a general average. I can say, well, if I can get this house to a good level, then I should be able to get about $300,000 for it. So I can get it for 150 when I see that the houses are going for about 300,000, 345 to 280. So right an average of 300,000 or so, right? For round numbers sake. Okay. So now what we're going to do, let me show you the here. Let me put that there. So now we're seeing that the house was 150,000. Okay. That's what they were selling for. And then we saw that we give them a call, or generally if it's Zillow, you're gonna have to plug it in, and you're gonna generally you're gonna have another somebody call you, and they're gonna say, "Hey, are you interested in this particular home? Would you like to set up a showing?" You say, "Hey, right now I just want to have some more information about it." Okay, and then they're gonna tell you, "Okay, what kind of information?" You say, "Does it need repairs?" I see this, and I take that back. I know it needs repairs. What kind does it need? And they'll tell you, well, it needs this and this and this, right? And so you'll start to outline and write those down. And now either you'll get familiar by going into the trainings and being on the trainings, and you'll get familiar with what things are costing and rehab wise, or you just get on the call. So, like on one of the calls, or you just call me up and say, "Hey, Mike, it needs this. It's a 2,000 square foot home. It needs HVAC, this and the other. How much are those repairs?" And I can give you kind of an estimate, what those repairs would be. Okay. So let's think of it. We're getting it for 150, and I'm gonna show it on the screen in a couple seconds. Getting it for 150,000. And so then we want to take that, and then we want to say, okay, great. So what was our ARV? Say the ARV was 300,000. Okay. So we take 300,000 and we multiply that by 65%. Why? Because that's the bank's number. That's all you need to know right now. That's the bank's number. Okay. So that's why we do that. Because I'm going to show you how to get your deals approved. See, this is what we do. We show you how to make money, not just be out there and teach you on the aspects of it, but we show you the ins and outs. Okay. So then you take the repairs, and let's say, for instance, the repairs on that type of size of house. Let's say, for instance, it was $50,000. Okay, and then that's going to equal our MA. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this on there. All right. So now 300,000 times 65%, right? Minus $50,000 equals the most that we're going to offer for this property, right? We know that they want 150,000. So we hope that as we do this, as we do our numbers, that it's going to be better than that. So let's look at it, right? I'm going to get my computer, I'm going to calculator. I hope you're doing the same. So we got $300,000. Okay. And then we take that times 0.65, and we got $195,000, right? So now we are okay. Now we're working. We know what we got with a number. So now we got to subtract the repairs, right? But when we start this, we want to know that we got enough money to finish it. So now we're going to subtract the repairs. So now we take out the 50,000, and now we got $145,000. Okay, so 300,000 times 65% minus 50,000 equals $145,000. Now the house, they want 150 for it. That's higher than our maximum allowable offer. So what do? We have to give an offer that's lower right? And then hope that they take it. That way we'll know if we get the house, we can finish it. We got enough money in it. We are good to go. We have a If we do this, we got at least 4 exit strategies no matter what happens. If a pandemic happens, if lightning strikes, if whatever happens, we're solid. You see what I'm saying? Right? So now we make sure that we get to the goal. So now we send in an offer for since we got 145, we may send in an offer for 132, $625.28, right? Because you don't want them to see that you're just working with round numbers. You want to see that you actually worked on the deal, right? So now call them up, and then you may be able to say, hey, I would like to offer X or X. But what they want to do, you're gonna have to do a contract, call the realtor, and that's, of course, we help you with that process. Okay, so that's how we get that going. See, this is how, and then when we get through with this process, guess what? Because we did the multiplication here, we know that we had 145, right? So you take 145, add it to the 50, right? Says now you got 195. That's all you will be into the property for. Understand what I'm saying? Let me write it down on here too. Let me go ahead and erase this because I want you to get this. This is what separates men from the boys, women from the girls. Okay. So now we have 195,000 into the property. The property is completely fixed. It's repaired. It's done. It's everything, right? So now this leaves us with 105 in potential profit. Let's take a look at that. All right. So now we understand because we multiplied it by the 65% when we started. Great. So now we got 145 that we're going to offer, or 130 something, whatever we said. But let's say, for instance, 145 for round numbers, 145 plus the 50, right? We purchased it for 145. We put 50 into it. So now we only into it for 195, but the houses is going to be worth 300,000. See what I'm saying? So now there's a potential profit of 104, 105,000. Okay, minus closing costs and different things like that. We were just working with round numbers, right? So we can do this process. So people ask me, Mike, I'm looking for a house of what number? What amount am I looking for? It doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? We like to stay, right, 300 and below because we want to make sure that we can get the housing to people that can afford it, of course. But really and truly, it doesn't matter because the numbers do the deal. The numbers make it work. The numbers make it. See, when you stick on the numbers, then they're not as worried about all the other details. Okay. And then what we do is we show you how to buy commercially. Excuse me, got hiccups from some. Commercially means that we're going to be buying underneath the LLC, which means that we won't have to worry about a debt to income issue, which means that majority of people can only buy one house because their income can only support that. So if you already own a home, it's very difficult to get into real estate investing unless you have saved a bunch of cash, because they're not going to let you borrow any more money. You see what I'm saying? Your income can't afford it. See what we're doing with this as we buy with LLCs. Now we can use the cash flow, right, to continue buying more and more and more houses. Okay, and so these will turn into buying land, buying commercial properties, whatever that may be. I don't want you to restrict yourself. See, if you're having a business and your business is going to be eventually a brick and mortar business, and you're not trying to learn real estate, you're giving your money away, right? If you're gonna live and you're not learning real estate, you're giving your money away. It's pure point blank. You got people out there right now, right? Like Mr. Jenkins has a client that is coming to the table, right? And they want the credit better so they can get into a house. Okay, so now if they hadn't met us, then they could have been taken advantage because that person says, "Hey, all you need to do is get a 600 to get into a house." That's fine, great. So I made the minimum to get into a house, which means guess what? If it's not a FHA, then the lending or the interest is going to be at the maximum. Even if it is an FHA, at a 600 credit score, that also lends to the lender that you are uninformed. So this is why a lot of people in FHAs lose their property. And this is why you see a lot of properties out and they say, hey, this property is here, but we can't finance it. Right? I don't want to get too deep, but I just want you to see the difference between a person that's coming in and buying a property with us and the person that's in and buying property outside of us. If you buy a property outside of us, the only thing you're going to do is you're going to go to a realtor, you're going to go to a mortgage broker, you're going to go to a separate insurance person. You're going to go to all these people separately to try to get you into the best property possible. And then this person that you're trying to get in, that's trying to help you, they're trying to make the maximum amount of what? Commission possible. So therefore, if you're getting $100,000 house, they're going to take you to $100,000 house, $200,000 house, and you're going to pay retail for it. Meaning this, you're going to pay, if it's $200,000, you got to pay the realtor, and you got to pay the mortgage broker, and you got to pay taxes and insurance. So that means you're going to pay 200,000 plus for the property. That's why people get to a closing. It's like, well, my property was 180,000, but my closing was 200,000. And then you're in the place to where you're upside down in your property. And guess what? A pandemic comes around and you've been in your house 2 years and you have not even touched the principal. So you can't sell. So now you're doing for sale by owners. So now you got to go into foreclosure. See, this is changes everything. Real estate and finance changes everything. People are like, well, Mike, people don't want to do, they do it every day. Now, only thing that's different between what they do and what we do is that when we buy, we end up with this. We end the property for 65, 70%, right? So that means that we become the bank. So if something happens, our money is still in our house. Okay. So that's what I want to get in front of you today, guys. And so so you can see those different pieces. And before you go, I got 9:30 something. I want to make sure that you do see the um, PDF. And then again, and if you got, like I say, if you got questions, you definitely always type those in. All right, so now you should be able to see the cash flow forever package. Let me make sure. Yup. Let me take this down. Okay, so now see, what we do is much more, so much more. See, we're teaching you the foundational aspects. If you're doing a business, a purpose. You say, well, I don't need I don't need to plug in the calls or this, that, and the other, because my purpose is this, and my purpose is that. Listen, we're showing you, no matter what their purpose is, you got to do the same things. It doesn't matter. Everybody does the same things. It's just that they have a different end product, but everybody does the same thing. You got to have your budgeting in place. You got to have your marketing in place. You got to have the cash flow in place. Okay. So we'll show you how to talk to your target market, how to write the right message for that, so you can know what you're doing to reach out to people, right? Because don't think that just because you got a great product that the world's going to beat down the door. It's not going to happen. There's different things that's called push marketing and pull marketing. Okay. See, there's things that where you're getting something into the market, right? You either got to push it into the market, right? Or you got to pull people into it. And see, generally when you're starting something, you got to pull people into your marketing plan, right? Because they don't know your brand, they don't know you, they don't know anything. So you got to have something in the mode of a research so you'll know how to pull them into it. Because if you're doing the A, B, and C product and you're talking to 100 people about ABC product, then it's probably 2 maybe to 5 people out of that 100 that's going to be ready for that right then. The other ones, they may come back later, but you got to understand the process and moving through that process. And see, that's what we teach you in understanding how to reach out to people and helping them with their finances. We show you how to the lead generation process, the lead maturation process, right? We show you how to convert the lead. See, it's all types of things. I want you, if you are any generation, you know the Karate Kid. Whether you know the Karate Kid with Ralph Macchio back in my day, or you know the Karate Kid with Will Smith's son, right? Either one, you understand this process, which is he was showing him how to fight by showing him how to do simple measures. So he showed him how to put on a coat, right? That's how to swing a certain way. Showed him how to wax on, wax off. That's how to block a certain way. See, I'm showing you different things without labeling it so that you can grasp everything that you need for your end goal because I've already been there. Right. And I wanted somebody to show this to me, but I had to pay this person and I had to come over here and pay that person and I had to get that course for this little bit and I had to get to know this area over here and then build a rapport over here, and that's why it took 15 years to get to that first level of that I felt like a quality success. So I said, hey, I got tired of people getting taken advantage of. I got tired of me getting taken advantage of. I got tired of people milking my community. So what I did was I created the solution that I wanted to see. And so now my goal is to separate the people that want it from the people that don't want it. And then the people that want it, I want to put them into three categories so that I can see and they can see how much and what levels of desire that they are at. See, we show you the ins and outs, cold prospects, how to turn them into customers, how to create raving fans. So business, guys, is not just about having a product and then again a logo and then getting an LLC, right? I see this back and forth every day, every day. Somebody posts, I got my LLC, right? And then next week or so, I don't see them anymore. Then somebody posts, then they're into this business, and you are taking you everywhere you go. If you are excelling anywhere, it's because you're focused. If you're doing well at your job, it's because they're making you focus, right? If they didn't make you focus, then generally you would be elsewhere. You're on the earphones or talking to this person, talking to that person. You got to do the same for your life and focus. Focus is following one course until successful. Okay. And so these are the different areas that you can see and see where everything is. So now I even included where the real estate investment courses are, right? Real estate and business consulting. You got everything from the introduction to the quickest way to your first check, how to do the lead intake form the proper way. So you know what I'm saying? Everything is lined out. See, people will pay thousands of dollars to go to Greenville Tech. They'll pay tens of thousands of dollars to go get an MBA. And neither one of those places are teaching you the real world strategies. You see what I'm saying? But we'll do that because it is um, adored by society. I got this degree. What are you doing with it? Nothing. You're right. Oh, I got this degree. How's that doing with you? Well, I need to go get another degree, to get another $10,000 a year. Oh, you see what I'm saying? So when we're going to stop playing their game and start playing your own game. Okay. So you go in and you say, okay, hey, where do I start? You got to do the right things to adjust your cash flow. So I included this process here. Some of you that are on the call now, you're not a part of our MyEcon process. So you got to find a way to track your income. You got to find a way to manage it, right? You got to find a way to record your deductions and things like that. If you don't have a way, this is a real simple process. That's why we use MyEcon as a tool, as well as the education and strategies that we have, and it also creates for us a atmosphere of others that are going in the same directions that we're going, entrepreneurialism, so that our software starts to change. Okay. And then I've created the individual pieces here so that you'll know how money works. So you got fill in the blanks and then the download two, if you've gotten that one. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because you haven't looked at your website yet. So you got download two, this will give you the answers. Okay. It'll show you, okay, what are the two things that we're looking for? How we're getting those two things. What are the four things getting in our way? And how do we need to do what do we need to do to overcome those things? Okay. And then it shows you how to go to the W4 calculator, how to work it, how to ins and outs. It's got a recording, so it shows you exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. Okay. And so now you have every piece of information. I've included how to bring in your actual pay stub, what to look at, how to analyze it, and then where the tax withholding estimator is, right? That's right here. All you got to do is just go and Google W4 calculator and then click that. Simple. And you change your W4 app. See, this is the foundational thing. See, we're steady doing more things. I want to get a better job, get so I can get more money. But you still got high taxes. You still got high expenses. You still got high debt. You still got high inflation. You still got inadequate investing. See, these things are robbing you. So you can get $100,000, $200,000, $2 million. Doesn't matter because you got a hole, several holes. Okay. So that's what this is described to do. This is the rule of 72, how to make how money grows, the number one asset. So you can see, help people to understand that they can use their own money to actually, so they can come off that second job, not get that second job, not have to get that degree, that they don't want, whatever it is, right? This is how you create your extra $500 to $1,500. This page right here. Okay, the bloody mess, how to pay off your credit card bill the proper way, and what happens when you don't, right? What is a rate? What is a monthly rate? See, what is your principal? See, you understand these different things. Like I say, we have the fill in the blanks, and you also have the answers, okay, so that you can practice, right? So that's what I wanted to do, is to bring this all together so that you guys can see, hey, this is cash flow 101. This is how money works. And if you don't know that, how can you get to the end goal? Your thing is, that's why I say, people say, hey, Mike, what I want to do is this. I hear you. And what I do is I jump all over what it is that you want to do. If it's we got an awesome free book program coming up for the kids. If it's then we have several ladies that are going to jump on that. We have a catering competition coming up. We have consulting packages. It's all kinds of things that you have available, so that the job, if if the job, right? Because nothing wrong with the job. Thank God for the job, definitely, right? But if you want to start transition, you can do something about it. That's what this is. This is the real you. This is the opportunity where you were feeling trapped, where you were feeling like you were crying on the inside, where you were feeling like you don't have no chance and no options, where you don't like to ask them for time off, right? You don't like to ask to go to the bathroom, right? You don't like your job, period. Okay. Then let's do something about it. If you like the job, let's still give you some more options so that you can have a basis, right? Your money that's coming in, let's put it in the right places. Why are you spending all your money, right? We are the people in the of America that spends the most money, but yet we're at the bottom of the totem pole. So we have the money, but we're at the bottom of the totem pole. So it's something in the middle, strategies, right? No matter what we're doing, that's why I want to get this over to people. I do this so that you don't have to do this. I get in front of the camera. I get on Facebook. I do all these types of things so that you can plug your people into what I'm doing. And then that creates for you leverage. And you continue to do whatever your purpose is: hair, place from home, whatever that it may be, the nonprofit, transition from your job. All you do is say, hey, are you looking to get yourself in a better position? They say yes. You put them into the system. You continue to do your own thing, right? So it's not difficult. The only difficult thing is always the real you. It's a you that is fighting to become free. But the comfort of where you're coming from, or the comfort of your surrounding associates, friends, if you cannot get past your own comfort level, or being afraid of success, because your success would get them to not like you or to hate because you've risen, because you've decided, I'm not talking right now, or I'm not watching the game, or I'm not playing NBA or Madden or whatever, because I got to get this together. Give yourself these next 60 days and then make a decision. But give yourself time to say, did I give it my all? And if not, then that's okay too, right? Because it was one point in time where I wasn't giving it my all. I chose to do other things, okay? Because that was more of a passion. But now I wish, right? I saw this thing the other day. I'm gonna let you guys go. I don't see any questions. So people always say, I wished I've started sooner. It's not many people, probably 0%, that said, I wish I had started later. All right. So, guys, I see you on the other side of purpose, because this side is just too easy. Anybody can wake up and go to work and be status quo and be mediocre. Okay. But it takes something real, renewing excellence and advancing leadership to get you to that next level. Are you going to be the person that shoots 2 or 3 free throws and then mad at the world because you don't have a million, $30 million contract, right? Or are you going to be the one that shoots 1,000 free throws, that rehearses your script, that rehearses the ARB times 65% minus repairs equals maximum allowable offer? Are you going to be the person that says, I know what Zillow.com is, I've turned in 1 or 2 deals? Are you going to be that person that understands exactly know what you want from life? Are you going to be that person that says, hey, I put in my cash flow strategist. I know how much money I'm going to have at this point in time. I know that I have this amount of insurance to pass along to my family, so I don't have to get a GoFundMe account. I'll leave you on that one. I won't get on my soapbox, because this right here is like I say is it's my life's work. So like I say, when you give me your purpose, and that's why I had to separate it, because when you give me your purpose, I take it on as my own. I am legitimately a pastor, right? I am a licensed minister. Okay. So my calling has always been to walk and take and shepherd that person to that end goal. So I have to get to a place for my own health so that I can separate those that want it and those that want it a little, and those that just need a little push. Okay. So I know how much time that I'm giving according to how much time that you're giving. Okay. So I crank this up. I appreciate everybody. And this is the deal. You got it. Nobody can take it away from you. Nobody. Nobody knows. So, guys, you got this. Why is focusing so hard? When money is the focus, how do you focus if there's more than one way to get money? Oh, that's an easy question. That's an easy question there. See, the thing is that you got to decide that money cannot be your ultimate passion. It cannot be your ultimate end goal. You see, the thing is, like we were just saying, you're going after the bag, or you're going after income instead of going after your purpose. See, this was designed so that people can go after their purpose, even if their purpose is not producing any money. Because if they participate in what we're doing, then they can be over here while they're leveraging our aspects. We're doing the real estate investing. So they've invested money, they've invested time, they've invested credit, right? So now they're getting results, they're getting money, they're getting paid, right? So now they can do safely their particular thing, because the job is taking care of the household. It's the job is taking care of the 401k and future investing. So now you got an extra $1,000 a month, extra $2,000 a month coming from over here. You're spending an extra hour a day, but you're creating an extra $2,000, $3,000, 1,000, 2,000, whatever your station is, right? So now you put that into your purpose. So now you're no longer worried about the trinkets or the service or the product that's making money. See, that's what they get you on Facebook, Instagram, everything like that. I made all this money, do what I do. And then that person, guess what they do? They move to something else. And they go back and tell you, I'm making all this money over here now, do what I do. And that's what we do. We follow this along the way. And they're consistently making money on the same people over and over again. So that's how you always got to line them up. You got to get to a place like me. My ultimate goal is to create lifestyle for community. So out of that purpose, out of that passion, out of that proclivity, right? Then I birthed, the Most High birthed, this process. And so now this process, because I wanted to be, I asked it to be a win-win situation, so that everything can just be all right with everybody. So that even if your purpose is not making money right now, over the next 2, 3 years, because it takes 3 to 4 or 5 years for a business to really make profit, right? What do you do in between that time? Now I've given you a strategy to do that. Okay. And we are I appreciate it as always. I appreciate it always, Papa Riley. I appreciate that is my main man always stopping in. And you guys are, like I said, I take on what you give me and I will make it more. That's why it's called the real you, renewing excellence, because we were already excellent, advancing leadership, because we were already the leaders. We were just put into a position to where we've forgotten over generations because of oppression. So now the goal is to change the tables, to turn the tables. Okay. So that's my purpose. And within that purpose, I can birth many other purposes. Okay. Because one of my other purposes, of course, to have sections, businesses, different things that will be great for my son's autistic. So I want to have him to have a good life. Okay. See, it's gotta be bigger than money. If it's not bigger than money, you'll never make money. That's just how it goes. The Amazon, he solved a big problem, right? Dell solved a big problem. Apple solved a big problem. They have a big why. See, Microsoft, that solved a big problem. Okay. If you're say for instance, if you're bagging groceries, you're solving a small problem. You got to get to a point to where you're unafraid to solve big problems. Okay. So you got this. You got this. Okay. And see this you gotta, see, this is what we do. So what we want to do is we want to bring the all of this that you have together into, let me show you that. Well, I'm gonna go back to it, but we want to make you succinct. But majority of the times we are more like buckshots instead of lasers. And the only thing that's going to change that is to have a huge why. That why's got to be, I want a better life for my children, not just the life, but the world. I got to do something to change laws, to change statutes, to change. See, that's where I am. So that's why I can nestle your purposes within the real university, because that is also my purpose. Your purpose is selling, hair products, hair services. That's my purpose too. Then, you see what I'm saying? Your product, your thing is real estate and investing. That's mine too. You're doing writing. That's mine too. Then, okay. So then I show you how to do generically what you want to do. So therefore, it does not restrict you from being creative. Okay. But it's just like college. Everybody understands first couple of years, everybody's doing the same thing, right? Math, science, just basic stuff. But it's your junior and senior level, it's when you start working what onto your particular major. And see, this is the same thing in life. You have to do it that way. You have, when you start something, understand you got to build a foundation. Got to. Okay. So that's what it is. I hate, I appreciate you staying on as long as you did. Normally this will be, about 45 minutes or so. Then Tuesday, like I say, we have the presentation. So this is a great time to leverage yourself. Okay. And just say, hey, you're talking to individuals. You may say something like, have you ever heard of income shifting? Right? Whatever they say, they got a problem. They're not getting enough money. They don't have high enough credit. They're trying to get a job. They're trying to get, into a home, whatever it is. You ever heard of income shifting? Nah. Well, I tell you what, I got a great mentor. Has been working in real estate and finance for about 30 years. And you just said that you were having trouble with getting an extra $500. You're having trouble with setting up your business. You're having trouble getting a car, whatever that is, right? This is going to be showing y'all the breakdowns of how money works. And I'm not really supposed to share it with so many people, but you were a person that I was thinking about when you said about the problem that you had. So I tell you what, I'm going to give them a shout and see if I can invite you onto, the call, right? So just treat it like the plug. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know what this is. Everybody's always had somebody in the back that they could hook somebody up with. Give your people the hook up. They need it. Who doesn't need better credit? Who doesn't need business credit? Who doesn't need to have just an extra income, just to create more money from home, right? Everybody does. Now, whether they want to do it, that's a different thing entirely. Okay. So our goal is this: each one reach one, and then renew excellence and advance leadership, guys. Y'all guys been awesome. I appreciate it, man. We're gonna do this Tuesday. Tuesday is not something that you have to be at, right? But what I think about Tuesday when we're doing the presentation, that's for you to, when you meet new people and some people need help, right? Put them, invite them there. But also sometimes the Tuesday meetings, they need you, right? So either I think of it like this: I jump on a call because either I need the energy coming from the call of like-minded people, or either I had a great day and I'm bringing the energy to the call because I want to help the people that are on my team or to help the people that are surrounding me. See, we get to pay, we got to get to selflessness. Selflessness. Okay. But guys, I love you. Peace. Yeah, have a good one. And if y'all need anything, y'all know where I am. I'll be there all the time. Peace.